Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. जयम विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्राचार्य अष्टोत्तर शतश्री अभय चरणारविंद भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी श्रील प्रभुपाद की। जयम विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्राचार्य अष्टोत्तर शतश्री श्रील भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती ठाकुर महाराज की। अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की। नामाचार्य हरिदास ठाकुर की। गंगा इस्कॉन फाउंडर आचार्य शील प्रभुपाद की। पंचतत्व की। श्री श्री राधा कुंड श्याम कुंड गिरि गोवर्धन की। गंगा माई की, यमुना माई की, भक्ति देवी की, तुलसी महारानी की। ऑल ग्लोरीज टू द assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to Guru and Gauranga. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. So, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So, we are reading from Bhagavad Gita, chapter 17, text 10. Yatha Yamam Gata Rasam Puti Paryusitam Sa Yat Uchishtam Api Chamedyam Bhojanam Tamasa Priyam Yathayam Gata Rasam Puti Paryushitam Chayat Uchishtam Apichamedyam Bhojanam Tamasa Priyam Yatha Yamam Gata Rasam Puti Paryushitam Chayat Uchishtam Apichamedyam Bhojanam Tamasa Priyam यथा यमां गतारसां पूति पर्युषितं च यत् उच्छिष्टम् अपि चामेध्यं भोजनं तामसा प्रियम्. So, please. यातयामं गतारसं पूति पर्युषितं च यत् उच्छिष्टम् अपि चामेध्यं भोजनं तामसा प्रियम्. याता पूति पर्युषितं च यत् उच्छिष्टम् अपि चामेध्यं भोजनं तामसा प्रियम्. यातः यमरसं पूति पर्युषितं च यत् उच्छिष्टम् अपि चामेध्यं भोजनं तामसः प्रियम्. Anyone else? यातमां गतारसां पूति पर्युषितं च यत् उच्छिष्टम् अपि चामेध्यं भोजनं तामसः प्रियम्. यातयामं food cooked 3 hours before eating, being eaten. Gatarasam, tasteless. Puti, bad smelling. Paryushitam, decomposed. Cha, also. Yat, that which. Uchishtam, remnants of food eaten by others. Api, also. Cha, and amedhyam, untouchable. Bhojanam, eating. Tamasa, to one in the mood of darkness. Priyam, dear. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Translation. Food prepared more than 3 hours before being eaten, food that is tasteless, decomposed and putrid, and food consisting of remnants and untouchable things is dear to those in the mood of darkness. Purport. The purpose of food is to increase the duration of life, purify the mind, and aid bodily strength. This is its only purpose. In the past, great authorities selected those food that best aid health and increase life's duration, such as milk products, sugar, rice, wheat, fruits, and vegetables. These foods are very dear to those in the mood of goodness. Some other foods, such as baked corn and molasses, while not very palatable in themselves, can be made pleasant when mixed with milk or other foods. They are then in the mood of goodness. All these foods are purified by nature, pure by nature. They are quite distinct from untouchable things like meat and liquor. Fatty foods, as mentioned in the eighth verse, have no connection with animal fat obtained by slaughter. Animal fat is available in the form of milk, which is the most wonderful of all foods. Milk, butter, cheese, and similar products give animal fat in a form which rules out any need for the killing of innocent creatures. It is only through brute mentality that this killing goes on. The civilized method of obtaining needed fat is by milk. Slaughter is a way of subhumans. Protein is amply available through split peas, dal, whole wheat, etc. Foods in the mood of passion, which are bitter, too salty, or too hot, or overly mixed with red pepper, cause misery by reducing the mucus in the stomach, leading to disease. Foods in the mood of ignorance or darkness are essential. Those who are not fresh, those that are not fresh. Any food cooked more than 3 hours before it is eaten, except prasadam, food offered to the Lord, is considered to be in the mood of darkness. Because they are decomposing, such foods give a bad odor, which often attracts people in this mood but repels those in the mood of goodness. Remnants of food may be eaten only when they are prepared of a meal that was first offered to the Supreme Lord or first eaten by saintly persons, especially the spiritual master. Otherwise, the remnants of the food are considered to be in the mood of darkness, and they increase infection or disease. Such foodstuff, although very palatable to person in the mood of darkness, are either liked or even touched by those in the mood of goodness. The best food is a remnant of what is offered to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. In Bhagavad Gita, the Supreme Lord says that He accepts preparation of vegetables, flour, and milk when offered with devotion. Patram pushpam phalam toyam. Of course, devotion and love are the chief things which the Supreme Personality of Godhead accepts. But it is also mentioned that the prasadam should be prepared in a particular way. Any food prepared by the injection of the scriptures and offered to the Supreme Personality of Godhead can be taken even if prepared long ago, because such food is transcendental. Therefore, to make food antiseptic, eatable, and palatable for all persons, one should offer food to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagar Jatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha Navam Vishnu Padaya Krishna Parishtahaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vikasa Swaminiti Namine Namam Vishnu Padaya Krishna Parishtahaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna. Welcome all to the Sunday feast. So, do anyone know the chapter name of this 17th chapter? So, this chapter name is called The Divisions of Faith. You know the previous chapter, 16th chapter, does anyone know? Yeah. So, when Krishna was explaining about demons and the good qualities and the bad qualities, Krishna explaining to Arjuna in this chapter about the mood of passion, mood of ignorance, and mood of goodness, how people react when they are in the three moods. So he's explaining about the faith, how people in mood of ignorance, their faith towards God or towards so-called bogus gurus, and the mood of ignorance towards demigods, in the mood of sattva gun. He describes them how how people worship Supreme Personality of Godhead or demigods in these three modes. So when Krishna explaining in this chapter about the three modes, suddenly he switches from faith to food. So, one second. So in the same chapter, 6th sloka, suddenly Krishna, he explains how the food is the essential thing, the conscious impact. I mean, everything, the conscious is depend upon food. So Krishna, he explained how the persons in the mood of ignorance, in the mood of passion, and in the mood of goodness, people eat the food. We can see in this modern civilization, everyone needs meat, all those nonsense things. We can directly experience. Yesterday we were distributing the books. How ignorant people are. Are they at least they are listening what we are saying? No, because the food they are eating is completely made up of with Rajogun and Tamogun. If a person who is in Sattvagun, at least they will listen what we are saying. You can also experience when if you distribute books nearby the temple, the people who went inside and while they are coming, if we explain about God consciousness, something like that, they will listen. Why? Because they are in Sattvagun. Because of Sattvagun, they are going to the temple and somehow or other for a karma kanda or some for liberation, mukti, somehow or other they are going to the temple and taking some blessings. When they come from the out from the temple, if you say something, they will listen. Why? They are in Sattvagun. So Krishna explains the food is the essential thing. You see, each and every living entity depends upon food. Am I right? Each and everyone depends on the food. Either it's offered or it's unoffered. Everyone sustains on food. So Krishna, we can see, Krishna explains in Bhagavad Gita the famous sloka, Annad bhavanti bhutani prajannad anna sambhava yajnad bhavanti prajanyo yajna karma sambhut bhava. All living bodies subsist on food grains which are produced from rains. Rains produced by performance of yajna, sacrifice, and the yajna is born of prescribed duties. So Krishna is explaining about food. You see how food grains are most essential thing. Everyone depends upon food. Without food we cannot sustain. Even if you give anything, we know the famous example how the fish, if we take off the fish from the water and if we give the luxurious item, will fish sustains? No. Because the natural potency, that swabha of fish is to be in water. So the same thing, every living entity depends on food. So how food impacts our daily consciousness, daily life. You see, in the present age, each and everyone has disease. Everyone has cancer, diabetes, somehow or other. Why? The food is not nourished. It is not prepared by yajna. You see, the daily rice we are eating, it's polished rice. When we consume polished rice, we'll get diabetes for sure. Because unpolished rice gives proteins, vitamins. If we polish the rice, we will get diabetes for sure. Now or later, for sure we will get. So this is the main important thing, how food impacts in our daily life. So why we need to learn about this? Why we have to learn these types of controversial things? Does anyone have any idea? So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he says in Chaitanya Charitamrita, Siddhanta baliye chittana kare alasa, iha haite krishne laga shudra manasa. A sincere student should not neglect the discussions of such conclusions, considering them controversial. For such discussions strengthen the mind. Thus, one's mind becomes attracted to Krishna. So we need to learn the Siddhanta. Without Siddhanta, if we act, we can speculate so many things. So, so can anyone tell the examples of food eaten in the tamas guna? Madhava, can you? In rajoguna? Yeah. And in sattva guna? Yeah. So when we eat these kind of things, do we think we will get Krishna? That's why we will offer to Supreme Personality of Godhead. So food offered to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, it is transcendental. That's why in that purpose, Srila Prabhupada is explaining that everything should be offered to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Then it becomes transcendental. But the same food which is not offered, it becomes, why? Yeah, it is touched by the transcendental lips of Krishna. Daivim Prakriti Asha. Everything which is connected to the transcendental, it becomes transcendental. So that is the main important thing we have to think, that food, which type of food we are consuming. If we want to achieve Supreme Personality of Godhead at this lifetime, what foods we have to take? Pizza? Pizza. If we take pizza, if we consume pizza, Prasha, for sure we'll get Krishna. That's true. That's bogus. So there's a lecture of His Holiness Bhakti Vikas Swami Maharaj. He's giving a complete lecture on Pizza Tattva. Seriously, there's a lecture on Pizza Tattva. He explains how this Pizza Tattva, by this Pizza Tattva, we can attain Krishna consciousness. So in this same chapter, Krishna explains the first words, Yat Shastram Uchijja. That means one who neglects this transcendental, these Shastras, one who does not behave according to this Shastric conjunction, they are misguided. So these things, they are not mentioned in Shastras. Are they? So pizza is mentioned in Shastras, right? No, it's not mentioned in Shastras. The thing is that if we are not following these simple principles which was given by Srila Prabhupada, we will not attain Krishna consciousness, that for sure. Srila Prabhupada has given a simple process. It's very simple. If you read Srila Prabhupada books, we can observe how Srila Prabhupada condensed the milk and gave to us. So this process is very potent. If we follow as it is, for sure we can taste that bliss. If we follow Srila Prabhupada's teachings as it is, for sure we can. That's true. That's why the Srila Prabhupada disciples are sustaining. Who can sing the same song for 60 years? Can anyone sing? Can anyone sing the Bollywood songs for continuous 16 years? What is that famous song, bro? Kuchu kuchu hota hai. Can we sing 60 years continuously the same song? No. Why? Because it's made up of human. It's not based on Shastras. You see, 60 years they are singing the same thing. Samsara dava nalaliyada loka. The same Mangalarti. How? Because it's given in Shastras. That's how it's so powerful. If one is not following Shastras, for sure they will misguide it, somehow or other. So this food which we are eating, it should be very consciousness. Very careful. We have to be very careful before eating. So the main thing is that why we are offering to Krishna. What is the main reason why the thing whatever we are eating, we have to offer to Krishna? Yeah. More. Mm. Mm. Yeah, that's true. So another thing is that why we offer to Krishna is that we come from these three gunas. We come out from these three gunas, sattvagun, rajagun, tamogun. Because the food which is offered to Krishna is transcendental, Shuddha Sattva. How it becomes Shuddha Sattva? Can anyone tell? Yeah. So when it is touched, I mean, the food which is eaten by Krishna is transcendental, but of course it becomes prasad. But the consciousness also depends. If we, while cooking, we hear Bollywood songs, Tollywood songs, all those nonsense thing, and we cook, for sure that conscious gonna transfer in our mind, and we will also, while eating prasad, we will also sing, kuchu kuchu hota hai. We will also sing for sure. There is one story, it's not official, it's unofficial. It's from Mayapur. Bhakti Prajna Maharaj, devotees are cooking, personal servants are, I don't know who is cooking. So they are cooking for Maharaj, I think for lunch or breakfast. So that Mataji who cooked, Maharaj honored that prasad, and later Maharaj came and asked that personal servant, who cooked today's prasad? That personal servant said, this so and so Mataji good. Maharaj went and he asked, what you did while cooking? What you did while cooking? She said, Maharaj, I heard some bhajans and I cooked and I offered to Krishna. What bhajans? What? Then she was quiet and she said the truth. Maharaj, I listen Bollywood songs, Maharaj. So you know how Maharaj identified? Maharaj identified when he was eating, later his conscious changed. That song, it came in his mind. Then Maharaj came and asked his personal disciple, what is this? Who cooked this? Suddenly, somewhere or other, the song is coming in my mind while eating the prasad. You see, that potent, because we are doing a yajna. Food is not just added some spices, salt, coriander, rice. It's not just only adding vegetables and spices. We are preparing under the fire, because yajna, when there is fire, that is considered as yajna. We are preparing means we are doing some activity which is considered as sacrifice, yajna. The conscious transfers there. So one has to be very careful while cooking. What the Chaitanya, it's automatically transfers in the food whatever we are eating. So that's why it's very mandatory for the devotees. One has to eat only prasad, which is cooked by karmis, which is cooked by devotees for sure. Why from devotees? Why from devotees, bro? Yeah, because devotees chant. How many rounds? Yeah, devotees chant 16 rounds. Devotees follow. Devotees eat. Devotees listen. Devotees talk. Shravanadik Chitta Krishna Chitte Karyo Uday. So the devotees are completely engaged in Krishna consciousness. That's why we have to eat the food which is prepared by devotees. That is very important. You think, I'll buy from Costco, I will add tulasi and I will add to Krishna. Free, I'm from sinful activities. Yeah, Krishna Prasad. That doesn't work. First thing, Krishna won't take that. Krishna won't accept that thing. Why will Krishna accept that thing? You say, why Krishna accepts? Patram pushpam phalam toyam yome bhakta prayasyati. It is prepared by devotees. Krishna eats because it prepared by devotees. If you think that, oh, no problem, Krishna is so merciful, huh? Krishna is so merciful. He takes whatever we offer, add tulasi, katam. You think Krishna eats? No, Krishna won't take that thing. You buy some chips, you offer and you take. Okay, it's somehow or other you are engaging everything in Krishna consciousness. That's right. But we have to know what we are engaging. You apply some tomato sauce on your hand and place tulasi and offer to Krishna. Does it work? No, because it's not there in Shastra. That's why Krishna says in the same chapter first, yes, Shastra I cannot. Yeah, that's one should everything should be considered from Shastras. That's why Krishna mentions. So what happens if he neglects these things? Yeah. So more. Yeah. More. Yeah. That's right. We'll be in this birth and death cycle. How? Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu states in Chaitanya Charitamrita, Vishayare Anna Kaile Malin Hoyaman Malina Mana Hai Nai Krishnera Smarana. Translation. When one eats food offered by materialistic man, one's mind becomes contaminated. And when the mind is contaminated, one is unable to think of who? Krishna properly. You see, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu clearly says, Krishna properly. Not just unable to think Krishna, unable to think Krishna properly. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Srila Prabhupada, he specifically mentions properly. Why? It's not like that we remember Krishna for a few minutes and we do other activities. It doesn't work like that. That's why it says Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya. How we come Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya? Everything is mattered in Krishna consciousness. Each and everything is mattered. If you neglect small thing which is not anukulena sankalpa, which is not elevate our consciousness to Krishna, which doesn't take us to Krishna. It's like Shurasya Dhara Nishita Gruhatya. It's like walking on the laser blade. It cuts. For sure it cuts. If you are not so careful. So one has to be very careful. One has to eat food offered materialistic man. One's mind becomes contaminated. What happens if our mind's contaminated? Yeah. Kama, Krodha, Maha, all these things, it comes and it fights with us. Srila Prabhupada in Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 4, Chapter 26, Sloka 13. Srila Prabhupada explains this. Please listen carefully. So, this verse is very significant for those desiring to elevate themselves to a higher level of Krishna consciousness. When a person is initiated by a spiritual master, he changes his habits and does not eat undesirable eatables or engage in the eating of meat, the drinking of liquor, illicit sex or gambling. Satvika ahara, foodstuff in the mood of goodness, are described in the Shastras as wheat, rice, vegetables, fruits, milk, sugar and milk products. Simple food like rice, dal, chapatis, vegetables milk and sugar constitute a balanced diet. But sometimes it is found that an initiated person, in the name of prasada, eats very luxurious foodstuff. Due to his past sinful life, he becomes attracted by Cupid and eats good food voraciously. It is carefully visible that when a neophyte in Krishna consciousness eats too much food, he falls down. Instead of being elevated to pure Krishna consciousness, he becomes attracted by Cupid. This is the so-called brahmachari becomes agitated by women, and the vanaprastha may again become captivated into having sex with his wife, or he may begin to search out another wife. Due to such sentiment, he may give up his own wife and come into the association of devotees and a spiritual master. But due to his past sinful life, he cannot stay. Instead of being elevated to Krishna consciousness, he falls down, being attracted by Cupid and takes to another wife for sex enjoyment. The fall of the neophyte devotee from the path of Krishna consciousness down to the material life is described in Srimad Bhagavatam. You see how heavy it is? Srila Prabhupada writes, when a devotee who consumes luxurious food voraciously finish. Do anyone know the direct example of this information? Mataji? Example, the devotee who fall from his devotional service. Everyone knows. If I say that name, you say, oh, Ajamila. You say, oh. So Ajamila, Srila Prabhupada, once again, Srila Prabhupada writes in the 6th canto, chapter 167, translation, this Brahmana irresponsibly spent his long lifetime transgressing all the rules and regulations of the holy scriptures, living extra vigilantly and eating food prepared by the prostitute. Therefore, he is full of sins, he is unclean and is addicted to forbidden activities. You see, food which is prepared by non-devotees. You see, Ajamila, he is not an ordinary man. He was a devotee. But taking association of prostitute, eating the stuff which is prepared by prostitute, what happened? He fall down. It's so powerful. That's why devotees has to be very careful, very careful. It's not an easy process because after so many life we attain this Krishna consciousness. It's not an ordinary thing. The thing is that this concept is very prominent until 50 years. We can see the Brahmanas won't eat anything which is prepared by another caste. Does anyone know this? Yeah. So why the Brahmanas won't eat anything which is prepared by non-devotees? I mean, other castes. Yeah. The thing is that Brahmanas, they used to do sacrifices in the morning. You know, nowadays we are, if we match the matchboxes, the fire comes. But in previous days, it's not like that. They used to prepare fire from their own hands. They used to prepare the fire with the cotton. They rub the cotton with the wood, and they would so much time, the small spark comes, and with that spark, they do the yajna. They create the fire and they do the yajna. This is how it runs in the previous days. But now is advanced technologies came. So the thing, when the Brahmana, he used to do these yajnas, he used to prepare fire, right? Brahmanas has to do sandhya, trisandhya. They has to do all the rituals 3 times, right? So in the morning, when Brahmanas, they create the fire, and with that yajna, they prepare the food stuff and offer to the Lord Vishnu, and they take. Why? Because the Brahmanas are mean for higher consciousness, right? Previously, Brahmanas are the head of the whole body. I mean, they are guiding the Kshatriyas, and the Kshatriyas are dealing Vaishyas. Vaishyas are taking the help of Shudras, right? So when the head is misguided, the whole body, it will not be in our control, right? So the Brahmanas, they do these yajnas for higher consciousness. So the food which is prepared by the lower people, I mean the people who are in lower, I mean mood of ignorance, mood of passion, that consciousness affects the Brahmanas' consciousness so that they cannot do this yajna and the process Vedic rituals to offer Krishna, Vishnu. This consciousness affects. That's the reason Brahmanas, they won't eat anything which is prepared from another varna of people. So they even don't take the food which is prepared by their own wife. So it's very strict. Later on, it became like a prestige. They don't know the principle. It became so prestige. Oh, these Brahmanas, they won't eat anything. It became so much a prestige thing, but they don't know the principle. That's the reason. You see, that's the reason the Brahmana Ajamila, when he took eating food prepared by the prostitute, his consciousness changed. Therefore, he is full of sins. He is unclean and is addicted to the forbidden activities. That's the thing. We should be very careful eating the things which we have to be very careful. First thing. Nowadays, even though how much we try to be very sattvic, some or other we break the rules because we are living in America, developed country. When I came first few days to America, I feel, oh my God, people are suffering. Literally, I feel that being backward class like in India, it's better than being in this developed country. So much potent, the Maya, oh my God. So yeah, that's the reason the food is very important. So Srila Prabhupada also writes in Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, Jivara lalasa ye iti uti dhaya, Shishundara paranaya Krishna nahi paya. One who is subservient to the tongue and who thus go here and there, devoted to the genitals and belly, cannot attain Krishna. In this purport, Srila Prabhupada, he quotes from Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur. Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur is saying that people who are materially inclined and sahajiyas or so-called Vaishnavas who take everything very casually are both Visayais or materialistic. Eating food offered by them causes contamination, and as a result of such contamination, even a serious devotee becomes like a materialistic man. There are 6 kinds of association: giving charity, accepting food, offering food, taking confidentials, and inquiring confidentials. One should very carefully avoid associating with both the Sahajiyas, who are sometimes known as Vaishnavas, and the non-Vaishnavas or Avaishnavas. Their association changes the transcendental devotional service devotional service of Lord Krishna into sense gratifications. And when sense gratification enters the mind of a devotee, he is contaminated. The materialistic person who aspires after sense gratification cannot properly think of Shah Rukh Khan, cannot think properly of Krishna, the Supreme Lord. You see how Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur is mentioning everything comes from food. if we analyze, today morning we made what is that, ginger chutney in a combination with idli. I made that. I didn't realize that the ginger we buy it from Costco, it's so bitter. I mean, it's so strong. I never thought that. So I thought, okay, let's make, we call allam chutney. So it's a nice combination. So we made and we offered to Krishna and we took the prasad. It's so heavy. We can't even eat one bite. I mean, we can't even taste a little amount of that ginger chutney. I was shocked. Oh my God. I added so much jaggery, sugar and jaggery. Even though it's so powerful, it's so heavy, I thought, oh my God. I don't know how people are eating these kind of things. You see, can you realize, before coming to Krishna consciousness, we are also eating these things. But we didn't realize, oh my God, we thought it's a natural thing. But when we are in Krishna consciousness, we can differentiate the things. Oh, this is completely tamogun. Oh, it changes our consciousness. Seriously, we drank a lot of water. It's so heavy. It's so heavy. I don't know how people are eating all this stuff, but we realize, thank God we came to Krishna consciousness. we got to know what is Sattvika, what is Shuddha Sattvika, what is Rajasika, what is passion, all those things. Does anyone has any experience like this? Can you tell me, Prabhu?
There are several experiences like that, Prabhu, especially when we are dealing with people in workplace and other places where we can't present ourselves the way we are.
Mm.
We cannot just say that we are practicing Krishna consciousness and we are not supposed to take anything when we are traveling, we are in plane. All those are the times when we have to do some compromises. That's what I was telling in the past, and I heard from one Maharaj also that you always carry tulsi with you,
Mm.
and you get Jain Prashadam in plane. You can offer it to Krishna mentally and consume it. Those are the situation that I wanted to relate it
Mm.
with. Yeah, so those are challenges, of course. You cannot cook in the plane.
Yeah,
Of course,
that's
when
true.
you are in the social gathering, what I generally try to do is I bring something from home so that I have something to eat at that time in that company. And
That's true,
that
Prabhu.
way other also get prasadam.
Yeah.
That kind of a thing.
See, this is how devotees are sacrificing. One has to be very careful. The thing is that we are attaining who? Krishna. Who is he? The Supreme Potent. Can we achieve him easily? Easily? No. How we will achieve? If we are very strict and we will very vigilant to achieve Krishna, for sure he will arrange the things. So, what to offer Krishna? That's the main thing. What to offer to Krishna? Can anyone give some examples? What are the foodstuffs we have to offer to Krishna? Yeah, that's a simple thing. Yeah. Yeah, that's true, Mataji. So why we have to offer to Krishna, which is prepared by ourselves? Or offering to Krishna means what? Simple thing. What is bhakti? Yeah. And more? Yeah. So yeah, what is Mataji says, that's right. Expressing our love towards Krishna. That means what? For example, if a boy, uh, if if he is if he is expressing his love towards his beloved one, what he will do? Will he do what he likes, or will he do what the person likes? Hmm. He'll do what the person likes. That's the same thing. We have to offer what Krishna likes, not what we likes. what we like, Mataji? We like pizza, we like pasta, we like noodles. We like. So, is it recommended to offer to Krishna? No, it's not recommended to offer Krishna. Do we find any Vedic injection that noodles? Once imagine Krishna eating pizza and noodles with his Gopabalas. Noodles, take one noodles. Once imagine, does it work in Golaka Vrindavan?
It was prepared at that time. Why would he not eat it?
Krishna don't like it, bro. It's made up of maida, white flour. Thing is, whatever is mentioned in Shastra, it's for our benefit. You see, in this 10th verse, the food which is prepared in Sattva Guna, it enhances our health and it expands our duration of life. Have you noticed? Prabhupada says, Prabhupada writes, it expands thing which whatever we are eating, it has to expand our duration of life. If it is not expanding our duration of life, what is that? And in the first line, Srila Prabhupada says, the authorities, whatever they are eating, they had mentioned in the Shastras. Do you think Mahajan eats pizza and noodles? Once think Prahalad Maharaj, Yamaraj, all the Mahajans having a big dinner and eating pizza, pasta, noodles. Does it work? No, that doesn't work. Our health also, once you eat pizza or pasta, noodles continuously for 1 week, you will see your health, how it affects your health and your consciousness. Food means simple. Prabhupada right? Wheat, milk, flour, milk products. These are the things we have to eat. If you think if you eat all these things we will get the Krishna consciousness, no, we won't get. That's why I was saying His Holiness Bhakti-Vikas Swami Maharaj, he gave the whole lecture on Pizza Tattva. I was shocked when I listened this lecture. At the same day, devotees had prepared pizza for him. He was like completely, what's going on? He didn't even realize, oh my God, devotees. Okay, somehow or other we can engage in Krishna consciousness, but for long term we cannot sustain in Krishna consciousness. Okay, we can prepare based upon the time, place, circumstance, according to the people what we are giving the Krishna consciousness. It depends. If we are into Krishna consciousness and if we want all those kinds of things, we may feel like we are elevating in Krishna consciousness, but not. We won't. For sure we won't elevate our consciousness. We won't think of Krishna. Have you ever realized that whenever your mom or someone calls you, okay, tomorrow we will prepare pizza, pasta, noodles, and we will offer to Krishna, we will eat. What is your consciousness? The first thing, mother, what you think? Immediately what you think, can you tell? You think, pizza, pasta, let's eat. Immediately we are enjoying it. Am I right? We are enjoying it. If our mother, if our father, someone, if they say, okay, this Saturday we'll have feast and we'll prepare pizza, pasta, noodles, nice plum cake, strawberry ice cream, immediately we'll start enjoying it. Am I right? We'll start enjoying it. If we start enjoying it, then how come it becomes prasad? Everything has to enjoy by Supreme Personality of Lord, right? So if we enjoy these things, then how come Krishna eat? Krishna won't take first thing. Srila Prabhupada in the beginning days, there is one, I'll say two stories. So in the beginning, when Srila Prabhupada was engaging his disciples in Krishna consciousness, I mean engaging everyone in Krishna consciousness, few Matajis, I don't know the name, they prepared cake, all those stuff. The modern people, what they prepared and they offered to Krishna, they gave to Srila Prabhupada. Prabhupada saw, and Prabhupada is there in some letters. So Prabhupada saw all those things and Prabhupada was, oh, it's prasad, that's fine, but I won't take. You please carry on. So later Srila Prabhupada called his disciples and he himself taught how to make the traditional items. Sandesh, gulab jam, rasgulla, all those things. Then Srila Prabhupada says, even though it is not prepared very well, but I will take. Why? Because it's there in tradition. His Holiness Bhaktivinoda Swami Maharaj is saying, when he was preaching in Bangladesh, when he goes to the village preaching, he says that each and every day I saw a new sweet, I mean new desserts that I never saw in my entire life. There are so many things. If you read the book which is written by Yamuna Mataji, Krishna Conscious, I don't know the book name, Food in Krishna Consciousness or Prasadam in Krishna Consciousness. Sorry, Prabhu. Krishna's cuisine. There are so many varieties of cuisines to prepare for Krishna. There are so many things which are based on Shastric evidence. Mataji wrote all those things. If we we want to satisfy Krishna, then we want to be what he wants to be like. Simple. It's a simple funda. We want to become Krishna consciousness and we want to serve Krishna, then we have to follow what Krishna gave. Simple. If we don't want to serve Krishna, then we'll bring sense gratification. Then we will say, oh Prabhuji, we can engage this in Krishna conscious, Prabhuji, Yukta Vairagya, what's problem? We says that, that's true. That's how it's going on. So before saying all those things and degrading our consciousness, let's follow what Krishna gave, let's follow what Prabhupada gave. And one more thing, so when that incident happened, Srila Prabhupada was very happy. Devotees are saying Srila Prabhupada was very happy when he taught us these traditional items, and Srila Prabhupada, devotees offered to Krishna, and devotees said Srila Prabhupada too. They were in bliss. And one more incident, when Srila Prabhupada, devotees hired a person for prasad distribution, for cooking. So devotees hired a devotee or a karmi, I don't know. So they hired for a huge, mass cooking. So Srila Prabhupada, after everything done, Srila Prabhupada got to know that this was prepared by non-devotee. You know what you are expecting, what Srila Prabhupada says. Srila Prabhupada, he says that this is dog food. It's heavy. Devotees are like, even though it's prasad, Srila Prabhupada says it's dog food. See how Srila Prabhupada was very intense that devotees has to practice this Krishna consciousness very seriously. We can see in a tradition also, in 30 years, 40 years back, have you seen any pizza, pasta, all this thing? There are traditional items, and there are also cakes. Srimad Bhagavatam, it also describes about cake. But that's not the cake which we are preparing now. That's a cake, it is steamed, same like idli. It's same like idli. But it's sweet, that's all. So, we have to think what we are doing, what we have to do, what we are gonna do. Yeah, so I will end this class. If you have any doubts, any corrections, anything, any protest, you can. Mataji, Hare Krishna. Mataji. Thank you, Mataji. Hmm. Mm. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, Mataji. That's why Srila Prabhupada, he said in the initial days, farm communities has to be established. Varnashram Dharma. It has to become so that devotees can sustain by themselves, not depending on these so-called bogus people, karmi people. So Prabhupada emphasizes, that's the reason Srila Prabhupada says 50% of his mission is not completed. Why? To accomplish this, to accommodate devotees, so that there is no interaction with karmis. If we are doing Krishna consciousness and we are also doing all these things, but for long time it doesn't work. So Srila Prabhupada emphasized that these farm communities has to be established so that people and devotees can rely on themselves. So when you are saying this polished rice, better we switch to the brown rice. That's the best alternative we have. It doesn't taste good, but it's good for our health. That's why it says in Bhagavad Gita, Vishayendriya Sambhogam. Initial days we think, oh, white rice, it's amazing. We can prepare nice biryani, nice fried rice, all these things. Yeah, it's nice, but for temporary it's good, but for long term it's not good. That's we have to see one. Alternative, Mataji. It's better switch for brown rice. It's good. Yeah. So yeah, Prabhu. Prabhu, Prabhu ki ఏందంట మైక్ ఇమ్మంటాను ప్రభు మైక్ ఇస్తారా ప్రభుకి ఓకే ప్రభు థ్యాంక్ యూ ప్రభు yeah before it's done, Prabhu, before when he got associated with a prostitute, his conscience was little, there is some tinge of devotional service. But Srila Prabhupada later on he mentioned in the sixth canto, that verse which I mentioned, when after he ate the foodstuff which is offered by prostitute, he lost all his consciousness. He lost everything. He's all of sinful, Srila Prabhupada writes. That means his sinful activities, to commit sinful activities, it arose. That's it. Mm. Yeah, he already fall down, but when he took the grains which is offered by prostitute, he even degraded. Yeah, yeah. Please. Mm. Mm. Yeah, little spicy is good, to digest, because spice has this fire, right? I'm getting you. Yeah. So there are 5 elements in our body, right? Agni, it helps to digest the food. So the spice, it also has as the Agni, because it is spice, right? It has a subtle amount of Agni. So we add spices in our food to easily get digest. That's why we need to add little amount of spice, and it is also very easy to eat. Yeah. That's all. Prabhu, please. Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Yeah, Prabhu. I didn't get you, Prabhu. Mm. Okay. Yeah, so in this things which we are eating, first thing, it doesn't have any health, I mean any proteins, food whatever we are eating, because it's completely chemicalized. It, at one point we should not offer Krishna, but at the same time we should offer Krishna because we have to sustain. Yeah, so we have to be, as much as possible, we have to be very careful, Prabhu, because we are preparing to offer Krishna, but at the end we gonna eat it. So we are spoiling our health. So we have to be very careful. Yeah, that's Prabhu. Yeah, Prabhu. Mm. Yeah. Yeah, dairy is a main thing, Prabhu. It's completely Ugra karma. Not at all Ugra. I mean, it's directly in Gohatya. Somewhere or other, we are all engaging in Gohatya, slaughterhouse. That's for sure. Even we work for corporate, even we work for anything, somewhere or other, what we think, the CEO, somewhere or other, he earns the money and he engages in four regulative principles to break. You see, he enjoys eating beef. He is getting money. How he is getting money? We are generating. So, as much as possible, we move to the organic, Prabhu. I heard that Radha Vinod Prabhu, he get the milk from a farm. Yeah, so better switch to that, Prabhu. Thank you. वाञ्छा कल्पतरोभिश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, thank you for wonderful class. The importance of eating Sattvic Prasad, which is offered to Krishna, which will helpful for progressing in our consciousness. Thank you. Thank you all for attending this Sunday Fish program. Now we are moving on to the next part of our program is Aarti. All devotees, please okay, before going to that, we will chant one time Hare Krishna Mahamantra for the Prabhu's material and spiritual benefit. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Okay, please assemble here, all Matajis at that side, Prabhus at this side. No one remain between the benches or behind the benches. Please come forward. Sevya is doing, you are doing it. Sevya is doing Kirtan. Prabhu, Nitesh Prabhu, Vijay Govind Prabhu.